during walks, does your dog lunge aggressively at another dog approaching, or just become super excited and squeal with delight when spotting another dog? As you're about to learn from our special guest, both situations characterize reactivity in dogs. Now, what can we do to make our walks with our dogs more civilized? For answers, we welcome the co-founders of the Real Dog Nerds, Dr. Lisa Rodasta and Mindy Cox. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks, Arden. I'm happy to be here. Hi, Mindy.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for inviting us.
You know, there's a lot of things we can address about behavior in our dogs, but I was just over the moon when I saw that you have a comprehensive program spelling out all the steps to help reactivity in dogs. We could cover tons of things, but this episode, everyone, is being devoted to that because it's a big deal. I'm going to start with Dr. Lisa for 200, please. I sound like Jeopardy. Just in general, what is canine reactivity?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I'm not sure I have an answer because it could mean something different for everybody. It's a blanket term. So as you know, Arden, I'm not very tall, so I'm going to use this example, right? So short. What is short? I'm 5 feet tall. That's short to some people. To some people, 4.5 feet tall is short, right? It just depends on your perspective. So reactivity, we think of reactivity as any kind of overexcitement, over arousal, over the top, out of context behavior. And that could be on a leash or in the house. Now, the course that we have with Dog Nerds, of course, is just for on the leash. So those dogs might be excited. They might be frustrated because they want to play and they want to get to the person or the dog, and they've never been taught to be calm and to have impulse control. They might be fearful. They might have adopted best defense is a good offense strategy. We adopt that as humans. So do dogs. They might be afraid of stuff in the environment, cars, trucks, motorcycles, construction. So there's all of these different causes for this blanket term of you're a bit out of control. Your behavior's out of context for the situation while you're outside on the leash.
Wow. And you and I are about the same height, so we both have tall foam voices, and I love that. Mindy, you want to add to that? Because there's a lot of different topics for dogs, and we're going to get into both of your backgrounds in a bit. But I think this one has been one that hasn't been properly, thoroughly addressed. So I'm really excited that you all are taking it on.
You're right. It hasn't been addressed enough. A lot of people don't know what to do. There are some trainers that are really adept and other trainers it's a little bit out of their usual field to handle these dogs. One of the most important things that we like to express to people is that it is not a choice the dog is making. The dog is out of control. So
it's really important because, you know, emotions control actions. And I really appreciate that you said that because it isn't them plotting. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't control myself. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And there are certain things we'll probably talk about that make it worse, but a lot of pet parents automatically go towards certain strategies that actually make these dogs worse. So
let's do a few don'ts before we launch into a few do's. So, Mindy, give us a couple of things we should never do with a reactive dog on a leash, and make sure that Dr. Lisa can add a couple.
Sure enough. Well, the thing to remember is no matter what the cause that Lisa discussed a moment ago, all of these dogs are under a great deal of stress. So the worst thing you can do is anything that creates more stress in the dog. For instance, your dog is lunging at another dog, whether out of fear, anxiety, or excitement. It does not help to start yanking on that leash really hard and yelling at the dog.
Okay, that's good. Come on in, Dr. Lisa. Tell us
All
another
right.
don't.
Here's the thing. Throw your shock collar in the garbage, roll it over with your car as long as it won't puncture your tire, go down to the dump and relinquish it. Dogs who are out of context, I don't care if they're fearful, frustrated, whatever, you hurting them is most certainly not going to help, but it gets worse. It's going to hurt. And I don't just mean physically. I mean that it's going to make the dog's behavior worse. The dogs that we see at our practice, Mindy is a dog trainer, but has been doing it for decades. We did it together, taught classes. The dogs that have been trained with shock are much harder to treat. They really struggle with getting better. Shock is traumatic. So bye-bye to that. Number 2, like Mindy said, don't be yanking on your dog, yelling at your dog. I know you're frustrated because I get easily frustrated. So I know that feeling of like, just stop doing that. But that doesn't help. So think about if you had a toddler, and when you have a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, I've raised a kid, Mindy's raised some kids. If you yell at them, it does not make the tantrum better. It causes escalation. It's gasoline on the fire. So bye-bye to that. Number 3, stop blaming yourself. Get over it.
Good.
It's not all about you. It's about what's happening inside your dog. And as soon as you accept it's not about you, then you open the space to say, I can fix it. Let me get some actionable steps where I can actually fix this. The guilt paralyzes you. So let that go away. Number 4, I don't care what your neighbors think. You shouldn't care either. If you are doing your best with your dog and your dog's doing his best, just please try not to worry about the horrible things or the unsolicited advice that your neighbor is saying or giving you, because again, this paralyzes us, right? And keeps us from taking those actionable steps that will help our pets.
Well said. And, you need everyone to seek advice from professionals. And if you look at Dr. Lisa Rodasta, she's got a lot of Vanna White initials after her name. She is a veterinarian. She's one of the very few certified veterinary behaviorists on our planet. And when you take a look at Mindy, oh my gosh, Mindy, you also got alphabet soup after your name. Being a certified dog trainer, you have a master's in veterinary anatomy. I mean, these ladies are on our show because they're here to help us with reactivity. And I want to do, before we take a quick break, give a quick shout out. Lisa, tell us about the Florida Veterinary Behavior Service. It's based in, I think, West Palm Beach.
Yeah, we have a West Palm Beach and a Coral Springs location, and we see patients that have all kinds of behavior problems. Matter of fact, I'm seeing a raccoon in a couple of weeks. I'm excited about that. So I saw a monkey a couple of weeks ago. I saw a shark once. So we see everything. We see mostly dogs and cats, but I get to see some cool animals. But I think that what I want people to know across the country who are not in our area is that our website and the dog nerds, therealdognerds.com, those websites are full of free resources. So you're like, I don't know what to do. There's articles, there's blogs, Dog Nerds and FVBS, so our clinical practice. We have YouTube channels. So there's free stuff everywhere for you. If you just search Dog Nerds, or you search my name, or if you search Florida Veterinary Behavior Service. And also, of course, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow me. You can follow Dog Nerds. It's free information that will help you.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content. Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.